Hey guys, welcome to another WoW Weekly with Myst, and for this week we have Dark Moon Fair. Also, the Faded raids will be Sepultura, the first ones. Harvest Festival is making a return, so that will start up tomorrow and it will run all the way to September 13th. PvP Brawl is going to be Packed House. Time Walking is the weekly, and that will be the BC version. And then Torghast will have the Unbridled event. Okay, so for this week, I was able to test some stuff out in the beta, and I will continue doing that for you guys. I plan on covering as much as I possibly can for Dragonflight. So, yeah. Expect a lot of that stuff. Once I'm a little more progressed in the beta, I will return to some of these places that you guys may have seen in the streams or the stream VODs of mine, and we'll go over them at like a more progressed level where we can look at everything involved with them. Dragon riding will be one. You can upgrade the dragon riding. I plan on doing a full-on video once we've done all the steps to fully upgrade it. That one's really important for me because when I went into the beta, I already went in not really liking dragon riding, and on day one I hated it. And then day two I liked it a little more, and that's around the time when I realized you could upgrade it. And one of the upgrades has to do with the feature I hate, which is the charge. Yeah. Because one of my biggest issues at this stage in it, the early on leveling stage, is that you don't have a whole lot of charge. So you can only be in the air for a little bit. And yeah, so I will be returning after we've got all the upgrades and all that. In this video, you do see me go and customize it. So yeah. Enjoy the footage while we go over the news, because we're going to go to the city, check out the new city in this video, and I'll go customize the mount, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, for news, Transmogs, I thought we'd start with that. So we have some Centaur armor and weapon Transmogs. So here we have some two-hand axes, the daggers, one-hand mace, a two-hand mace, and some pole arms, Centaur helms, some Centaur shoulders, shields, and pennants. Next up, we have some Gnoll weapon models. So this is the crossbows, one-hand mace, two-hand mace, and the shield. There's also some cooking and gardening weapon transmogs. So this is the dinner fork, some garden shovels, a garden rake, and the garden hoe. Next up, this is fan art, totally not real, but I thought it was a super cool idea, so I wanted to share it. So starting with the Druid one, this is the Forsaken Druid Moonkin Glyph. You can see at the left side, it's the Abominable Moonkin. And then on the right side, it's a glyph that turns your astral form into green. The next one has to do with undead. So this is the Death Knight Ghoul Glyphs. And it makes your Raise Dead spell be Murlocs, This is my favorite one, even although I main Druid. I've never been a fan of turning myself into the Astral. I like my Boomkin, and the other one doesn't really, I don't care for. But the Death Knight, I love Murlocs. I would play my Death Knight a hell of a lot more if you could have the Murlocs running around instead. Super, super cool. And then the final one we have is for Shamans. Forsaken again, this all has to do with Forsaken. And it alters the appearance of your elementals. I am really loving the one on the right side. That guy looks very cool. So once again, this is fan-made glyphs. This is not real. I just thought it would be cool to share. You know, maybe one day it will be real. Also, over on Dragonflight, one thing in particular was very interesting to me, and that is that there is this NPC named Anowin Dynaspark, and this gnome is wearing the Druid's set piece Wild Heart, which implies a Gnome Druid. Yeah, so that is interesting. You know, there's no Gnome Druids in Dragonflight, like playable, but it does hint to the possibility of one day being able to be a Gnome Druid. There has been some UI changes as far as Dragonflight. If you want to see these, I'm going to link the first 2 streams I did involving Dragonflight. Keep in mind the first day was a little wonky. It has not been the best beta to walk into. It was very buggy, a lot of issues. But the first thing I do is go over the UI. So if you want to look at the UI a little more, definitely check out the stream that it'll say Evoker gameplay on it. That was the first one where I fiddled with the UI and stuff. And you can get a more in-depth view of it. Aside from things being buggy right now, the UI isn't bad. But it doesn't totally replace Bartender. It's just the basics, but it's not horrible, honestly. And you can save profiles. So if you're a person that plays multiple different specs on the same character, like, I don't know, say you're a druid that heals in raids, does boomy in out in the world, and then tanks in M+, like a situation like that. The edit mode is really cool because you can save 5 profiles for every character. So that is nice with it. So last week I had mentioned in that video that Evokers were getting Bloodlust and a class, potentially the Paladin, would get battle res. When I got the beta, that was one of the first things I did, was check in on, did the Paladin get the battle res? And the answer is yes. Yes, the Paladin, I can 100% confirm that the Paladin does indeed have the battle res. So if you are a Paladin, you are going to be able to battle res people in your raids and M+ and all that in Dragonflight. If you're curious about the Evoker's Bloodlust, it's a spell. Some people had asked me if it was a racial, and it is not. It is a legit spell. It's called Fury of the Aspects. One of the newest things that was discovered is the backpacks. I have not made it that far in the beta, but trust me, I'm working on it. I want to discover that. It's a quest. I totally plan on recording it. And so there is a quest in Ascara. It's called Scampering Scamps, and it will get you the backpacks. and they look very cute. I like them. Also worth noting, and this was probably my most excited moment while playing the beta, and that is that while you're in the first zone, you will get a quest that gives you the reagent bag. It's going to be near the end, so it'll send you back to, it's where you get your dragon riding initially, and it'll send you back and you hand it in and you have a reagent bag. But still a win in my eyes, because I totally thought that the only source for the reagent bag would be a tailorer. So yeah, it's nice that you get one as a reward. For those that want to be in the beta, it's not too late. There is gonna be other waves of this beta, so definitely sign up. I'll leave a link in the description of this video showing you where you can go to sign up, and just sign up, and who knows, maybe you get into one of the versions. Honestly, don't be too upset that you didn't get into this one, because it's been buggy as hell. It was actually work to stream it this weekend. There's been a lot of bugs, and to be perfectly honest, if I wasn't a content creator, I probably would have waited till I logged in. Yeah, it's one of the biggest bugs that's been really annoying me through the streams is that every time I log out, the talents are reset. So every single time I log in, I have to redo the talents. Yeah. And then there's some times where it won't even accept it. It'll say, you know, you've picked too many talents. Meanwhile, you can't pick too many talents. So yeah, there's definitely some issues with that. So that is the Dragonflight stuff. We're not done though. One thing having to do with retail is a new charity cache that they're doing. So basically this will happen on September 10th and 11th, so this coming up weekend. And it's going to be Echo and Team Liquid, and they'll be going into Castle Nothria and Sepulture are the first ones. Each guild will have to defeat the bosses as quickly as possible to earn their, charities a share of 100,000 US dollars. There will be a few twists. Instead of the usual fated power rotation, all bosses will have at least 2 fated power activated. Double the power, double the fun. Each raid will have 2 checkpoints, which will grant an amount to donate to the charity, with a high amount go into the guild that reaches the checkpoint first. And to up the fun, the guild that reaches a checkpoint first will receive a fated curse modifier that will make one of the next encounters even more chaotic. Okay, and as for the charities, the EU team will be playing for Direct Relief, which is a mission to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergencies. And then the NA team will be playing for Able Gamers, which is a organization that creates opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. And the last stuff I want to go over in this video has to do with Classic WoW. The digital deluxe reward was released, and it involves a lot of stuff. It's actually, I would say it's pretty good if you play both. Like, if you don't play Classic, maybe you wouldn't want it, because it is mainly Classic stuff. But if you play both Classic and Retail, or even just mainly Classic, it's worth it. So you get a mount, and it's the Kalawak Whalebone Glider. It's a flying mount, of course. And there's a one for classic, and you'll get one for retail. Now, that's the only retail reward, but for most people, that's good enough. It's a mount, so if you're a collector, you're probably buying it anyway. And then for classic, one thing that really caught my attention was this toy that's there. It is called the Fisher Spear Lucky Lear, and it calls out a Tuskar to be by your side while you're fishing. So I thought that was really cute. And then there's also the penguin. The item will be Pebble's Pebble, and it teaches you how to summon a peculiar penguin with a penchant for pebbles to your party. That's your major rewards, but you will, on top of that, get a free month of game time, and you will also get a level 70 character boost so that you can go into Northrend right away when it releases. Also worth noting that on the classic shop, they did add name changes. So if you need to do a name change, you can do that for $10 on the shop. With Wrath of the Lich King comes a new tab for your mounts and your pets. So if you're not sure how to get to that, when you're in classic, just do Shift P, and that will bring up your mount and pet tab. You just learn your pet that you had previously, and it'll just apply into that tab. So you'll be able to use them from that tab, or you can drag them from the tab over onto your hotbars. And that basically concludes our video. No accomplishments to share this week because I've been all over the place, you know. I've been in Classic. I've been in the Dragonflight beta, and I've barely been in retail. I logged in on reset day, and then, like, basically from there, it was nothing because then the pre-patch for Classic Wrath came out, and then 2 days into that, I decided I wanted to go ham with that, so I started streaming it pretty consistently, and then 2 days later, I got an email saying I was in the Dragonflight beta, and, well, we're a WoW retail community, so yeah, of course I was gonna, do as much in there, and I've been in there ever since, so yeah. So it's gonna be basically Dragonflight stuff and classic stuff for the next while, which does halt our mount farms, but it's just what I want to do right now. I love my mount farming, but I want to try to get through as much content as I possibly can through the Dragonflight, show you guys as much as possible, especially those of you that might be on the fence of whether you want to even play Dragonflight or not. I want to at least be able to answer that question for you through, you seeing what's in it. And then, of course, Classic I still want to do a lot of as well because there's the leveling perk, right? So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of both. Betas, it looks like most of the stuff is there. The only disappointment I really have is that I still cannot pick up enchanting. Every time I go to an enchanting trainer, it says this profession is not available. Yeah, so they are not ready to show off enchanting yet, which sucks because it's my favorite profession. So yeah, it's my main profession. So hopefully we'll be able to do that soon, and I will show you guys some enchanting stuff as soon as it's available. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you're interested in some Dragonflight stuff, definitely check out the streams, or you can check out my past stream VODs that I did on the Dragonflight beta. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.